Hey guys, this is Alex the Kaiju fan coming at you with another Kaiju fan film review. Today's fan film review will be Goji Fan 1993's Plutonium 2356, Richard Iso, Asus, whichever one you want to call him. Rob from ETM. Basically, all these crazy Godzilla fanatics came together to make this epic Godzilla movie. I'm serious. I just literally got up from my laptop from watching it, just came in here and started recording, and I'm like, oh man, what? And I did not see it at G Fest. Sorry guys, I did not go to G Fest. For those of you guys, I was one of those people who did not go to G Fest this year, but I will go next year. So yeah, 2016 probably won't matter. 2014, 2015 were probably the best years for a lot of people. But then again, there's the Godzilla 2016 hype, so I guess it's a good time to go. But anyway, today, Godzilla: The Return of Space Godzilla was just uploaded today, and I saw it on YouTube. And if I talk about the plot and character interactions, and I might miss some major details and get some things horrendously wrong, then I'm sorry. But I just barely finished watching it. I mean, my brain didn't really even have time to process everything, so of course I'm gonna get a lot of things wrong. But we're just jumping into it, and even when people do, from my first reaction to certain things, people still like it. So hopefully you guys don't get too angry that I might have missed some details. I mean, if you do want to correct me on some details, please feel free to do so in the comments below. I mean, I'd love to hear what you guys think about the movie. First of all, we're going to start off with the plot as usual. So, pretty much, it's been like 2 years or something like that after Godzilla's attack on Osaka. And as you guys should know, with Godzilla World Apocalypse, yeah, I always have a way of how I say Godzilla movie titles. In Godzilla World Apocalypse, Godzilla was recently seen destroying Osaka, and he destroyed the Guardian monsters. So, what I noticed from a Goji Fan 1993 interview, and even in my own video about the Return of Space Godzilla, I was wondering if how much continuity were they going to tie in with Godzilla World Apocalypse, and surprisingly, the first 10 minutes tied in a lot to Godzilla World Apocalypse, so that's really good that we got some major continuity with the movie. So, then we have the military soldiers, they're like talking to each other. I mean, Diego Doom's like the main character. Diego Doom is really good. I love Diego Doom's character. I mean, who doesn't love Diego Doom? I mean, a lot of people know who he is, or at least they should know who he is. So, Diego Doom, he was great. He was like the general or commander, whichever one you want to call him. I'm probably sure it was in the credits and I missed it, you know, yeah. So pretty much she's giving out orders on what to do. And that guy who I said in my video looked like a guy in prison because of how he was in that cell by himself. No, he's actually MKG pilot. So what's his name? Rob from ETN is Mecha King Ghidorah's pilot, and that is really cool. What's even interesting is that it's Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah. Oh my goodness, guys! Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah is the version of Mecha King Ghidorah without the skin on his head. That's actually a complete robot version of Mecha King Ghidorah, and I'm surprised that anyone there even thought of using the Godzilla Island Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah instead of normal Mecha King Ghidorah, because I'm like, that is so. I mean, the people who worked on this obviously. I mean, I already knew this, but they obviously used references from like so many different areas. Every time I saw like a reference to something that not too many people knew about, I was like, oh my goodness, you guys are the greatest. I mean, Godzilla Island Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah reference, beautiful. And then I'm saying a lot. So the Vortalk Queen is like, oh, we gotta find a monster to stop Godzilla. That was a terrible Vortalk impression because I was trying to not sound too girly or whatever, too feminist. But anyway, the Vortalk Queen is trying to find a monster to destroy Godzilla, and her ship looks really different from the Vortalk ship. If you look at the Vortalk ship, it's basically like a giant flying saucer the size of San Francisco. But in this movie, it's more of a kind of Star Wars slash Power Rangers looking kind of ship. If you guys have watched Power Rangers Dino Charge, and you guys know Sledge's ship, I'll probably have a picture right here. The Vortalk ship kind of reminded me of a ship from Star Wars and Power Rangers kind of combined. So the Vortalk Queen is ordering her minions to scan Earth. Like Japan, long time no see. And what's really interesting, my kind of gripe about this, well, not really a gripe, but something that I noticed, is that the Vortalk minions are not actually humanoids. It's like they're actual creatures. So, Plutonium 2356 or Goji 1993, anyone who's working on the project that is watching this, or anyone at all, in your series, like for the Kenshin era, are the Vortok not just humanoid looking people? Are they actually weird lizard blob kind of creature looking things? Because I know that most of the Toho aliens usually have like a secondary form from their human disguises. But I know that if you play the Godzilla Atari games, the Vortok mostly look like humans. So in your series, are the Vortok supposed to look like actual weird alien creatures? I was just wanting to know. But anyway, I really like the alien minions that are in the movie. I mean, every time the Vortok Queen says something, they always just look at each other. I'm like, yeah, if I had someone like that and I had to take orders from them, I'll be looking at my partner too. I was like, ooh, I always laugh when they look at each other. It's so funny. So pretty much they find Space Godzilla dead corpse. I also forgot to mention about the plot that there was like some sort of nuclear radiation in Nagasaki in 1945 and stuff like that. That there's still radiation from like 75 years or whatever. But what's really interesting is that it's also because of the giant crystals that have radiation. So I probably missed like a lot of points here and there. So pretty much the Vortok grab Space Godzilla and they turn him into this new ultimate power form. And something that I should mention is that Space Godzilla's sound effect actually is Ultraman Tiga's transformation device. Like if you guys have watched Ultraman Tiga, when Ultraman Tiga transforms, he has this kind of sound effect like. That was horrible. But anyway, Ultraman Tika has this sound effect when he transforms. It's not like Ultraman's, but it's a different sound effect. And they used that sound effect for when Space Godzilla was being revived. I was like, oh my gosh, Ultraman Tika's sound effect being used for Space Godzilla's resurrection. How clever! And again, if anyone's in the project watching this, who came up with the idea to use Ultraman Tiga's sound effect? That was just great right there. That was like a real good throwback to Ultraman geeks like me, because obviously a lot of people are not Ultraman fans, so that was like a great thing for me to see right there. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. So that's another one of those not too many people know about kind of things that they put in Godzilla: The Return of Space Godzilla. So Space Godzilla pretty much goes to Japan, of course, to start destroying it. And Godzilla even comes up too. And Diego Doom's character is like, oh my goodness, where are the soldiers that I had to dispatch? And it turns out that Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah is not ready yet because they had not installed the third head. So they're gonna have to send out the generic tanks and stuff like that. Well, they're not really generic. I mean, the tanks. Oh my goodness, the tanks. They look so beautiful. Oh, I could just look at them forever. I'm just so, what's the word that I'm looking? I'm just so blown away still by this movie. And it's been like 7 minutes or whatever, but I'm just so shocked with the movie that I'm just stuttering, saying a lot, and not even sure what order everything's going in, because that's how great this movie was. You guys really gotta go see it for yourself! Yeah. So pretty much the tanks attack Godzilla, and then Space Godzilla blows them up with his atomic breath. Then Space Godzilla comes down. And if you guys have watched the early test footage where Godzilla fights Space Godzilla in the city, like an actual city area, from a side view, that scene is actually taken out. And I really like that scene where Godzilla does an uppercut on Space Godzilla and he kind of just spins and lands. But unfortunately, Godzilla's mostly in the water for the fight against Space Godzilla. They just kind of have a beam lock after a while. And then Space Godzilla kind of just stands there. And then Godzilla's like, whatever, I'm going to leave. It's kind of funny because 2002 Godzilla did that when he first fought Kiryu. So, yeah, 2002 Godzilla's kind of kind of likes to retreat a lot. So then that's when they finally figure out that there's a third Godzilla. But this third Godzilla is Godzilla Jr., pretty much what I kind of picture with the Kenshin era. The Kenshin era is pretty much the Heisei era, but if Godzilla vs. Destroyer never happened, and all the other Heisei movies like Tokyo SOS happened, that actually can picture that. Here's how I picture the Kenshin era going. So first you got the Heisei era going from 84 going to 1954, 84, and then all the way down to Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla was the final movie in the Heisei era for this timeline. Then you got the Millennium movies, but only a select few. You got Godzilla 2000, Godzilla vs. Megaguirus, Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, and Godzilla Tokyo SOS. GMK and Final Wars never happened. But, it's just that consistency, and that's how I kind of pictured it, because as I said in my video about the Godzilla Return of Space Godzilla before the movie came out, I said this is kind of how I would picture their history being. So someone please notify me on that if I'm actually kind of true, But anyway, Godzilla pretty much swims away, and Mecha King Ghidorah, Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah, is dispatched to fight Godzilla Jr. Yes, that's right. Godzilla. Oh wait, no, I got it all mixed up. You see, I got it mixed up again. So the military challenges Space Godzilla at Mount Fuji, or what I perceive to be Mount Fuji, Monster Island. Just a wilderness mountain area. And oh my goodness, the tanks are so good. Like the tanks are like they look so beautiful. I mean, I remember that scene was intense. Space Godzilla's like a true boss. He like lands there, and then all of a sudden the military just bombards him, and all the different angles and shots are just so amazing. I'm probably sure if I looked at the clips right now, which I'll probably have as I'm recording this, I'll probably want to say more than what I would say in this video, but you guys can pretty much get my general reaction right now. So the military starts attacking Space Godzilla. I mean, Space Godzilla pretty much wipes them out with his psychic powers and atomic breath, just annihilates them, and even bites on a jet and, just makes them self-destruct or throw them into the tanks. So then Space Godzilla's like, he won, and Diego Doom's character is like, oh snap, he took them out like he was just warming up. So then we get introduced again, the characters have more interactions, and then we even got Richard Easo's character. I really do like Richard Easo's. I said Easo's. Man, I'm losing my mind here. I just cannot process correctly. Richard Easo's character is really cool. I mean, he plays this guy, this businessman. Well, actually, I'm not going to call him a businessman. That's just a stereotype because he's wearing a suit. But, pretty much Richard Iso is like, oh guys, I know everything about Godzilla. He's pretty much like the Godzilla expert here. He knows everything. He knew who Godzilla Jr. was. He knew that this creature was called Space Godzilla. He even knew the year that Godzilla fought Space Godzilla. Notice how Destroyer is never ever mentioned in one of these movies. That shows that Godzilla vs. Destroyer never happened in the Kenshin era. Kind of like that. Or I don't know, maybe they will create some sort of story tie-in with Destroyer. I don't know. That's up for debate. And wait, that actually rhymes. But anyway, Richard Iso is kind of comes in, and then the pilots, Rob Iso and the crew, they're like angry at what's his name, Richard Iso, because Rob is like, oh, I forgot what he said, but they pretty much get into an argument, and Diego Doom breaks it up. So then it's when they dispatch into Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah and they fight Godzilla Jr. Godzilla Jr. is like, oh, he can't really do much. He tries to punch Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah. Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah. The three heads just look at each other like, is this guy for real? And they just kick him and he goes flying into the ocean. Godzilla Jr. flies into the ocean like a total of 2 times in this movie. It's like hilarious. It's like that was in there. Even the music is from Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, the show era, so it's like that was in there just to be funny. So then Mecha King Ghidorah is pretty much done. Also the music, I love the music, I mean, even though the music is stock music from like a variety of different Godzilla movies, Heisei, Millennium, Showa, even spin-offs like Sunset Boulevard, the movie, Sunset Boulevard 2, it's just like the music fit in perfectly, and it felt like it was all originally composed. Like, I just loved it. It was just so good, but I don't know, it was just so beautiful. I keep on saying the same things. But as you guys should be able to tell, I love this movie to the extreme. And then, here we go on to the next scene. The military is preparing for their final battle, and then we recently find out that Hyper Mecha Ghidorah is powered by nuclear fuel. But Diego Doom's okay with it after being angry for a little while, as Richard Iso had told him about it. So it turns out that it was a better idea to lure the monsters in. So, I mean, this is how Rob thinks. He's like, oh, it's better if we have nuclear energy in Mecha King Ghidorah, because then it could lure the monsters in towards Japan, and we could just kill them and get it over with. Which is actually pretty interesting, because, the monsters are hiding, but you could just kill them and get it over with. Which most likely Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah cannot kill Godzilla, but I mean, maybe he could. I mean, there would be casualties, but, it's up for debate. Again, I mean, there's going to be a huge debate. Godzilla 2002 versus Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah. There's a huge size difference, but if you go by this movie where they're, like, the same size, it's like, I don't know. Also, here's another question to the people who worked on this project. How big is each monster? I mean, I get it, like, Godzilla Jr. is, like, smaller than Godzilla. Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah is, like, probably the biggest. But I mean, like, in terms of meters or feet, because you got Godzilla 2002. He's from the Millennium area, where monsters are, like, 50 feet, excluding Final Wars and GMK. But then you got Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah and Space Godzilla that are, like, in the 100/300 foot range. So I'm just trying to picture how big are the monsters compared to each other. And hopefully someone can, post that down in the comments below. Again, I would love to just chat with you guys about this movie. So beautiful! Ugh. My door just closed. But it's such a beautiful movie. So then that's when they pretty much prepare for the final battle in Tokyo. I'm probably sure I just missed a whole lot of character development right there. Oh yeah, and the thing is with Rob is that he actually has an emotional story that he wished he could be his brother's cousin, or I forgot which one. I'll probably have it down in the text or whatever. But pretty much he wished that he could be his I said father's cousin right hand, but it got to be Amy. Surprisingly, there's no romance between Amy and Diego Doom's character, which is pretty interesting. But you know, it's a Godzilla movie. You're not really gonna spare romance. You know, there was Pacific Rim, but you know, you get the point. It's all good here. So Godzilla goes in, and Space Godzilla lands in Japan, and Godzilla Jr. kind of fights Space Godzilla, and you know, Space Godzilla of course defeats Godzilla Jr. easily. So then that's when you got the real Godzilla. He shoots him with an atomic breath, I believe, interrupting Space Godzilla, and then eventually Godzilla Jr. gets held up by crystals, and you know, goes right through his arms. So Godzilla pretty much has to fight Space Godzilla, and I really do love Space Godzilla in this movie. Space Godzilla, aside from using psychic powers and beams and stuff like that, Space Godzilla is a really excellent physical fighter. He is a good physical fighter. Usually when you see Space Godzilla like in the video games or whatever, he doesn't look like the greatest physical fighter, and he probably isn't the greatest physical fighter. But in this movie, heck, he could probably take out Ultraman or the Jaguar, you know, physical type opponents in a physical match easily with his fighting skills. You know, I'm just talking so sarcastically, you know, I'm like, yeah, but I'm serious, though. He's a really good physical fighter in this movie, and that's what I really liked about Space Godzilla. So then, just when you think that Godzilla's gonna die or whatever, I think he did die. I kind of forgot. He kind of fell down. I really like Space Godzilla when he held up Godzilla in the air. That was just so epic, and when he dropped him, it was like a Dragon Ball Z fight, kind of. I also liked how Godzilla did some comedic moves, you know, kind of stuff like that. So anyway, Godzilla lost or whatever, and then that's when Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah comes in, and they play the Super X theme, and I love the Super X theme. It's probably one of my favorite military march themes. It's like dun 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 dun. I kind of have a stuffy nose, so I wasn't able to do it correctly, but you know, I just love that music. And then Hyper Mega King Ghidorah is like, oh snap, you see like all of his cool weaponry, and they launches like the electric cables, and boom, Space Godzilla gets electrocuted, but Space Godzilla shoots his atomic breath, and Hyper Mega King Ghidorah shoots his gravity beams, and boom, explosion. But eventually, of course, Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah cannot take too much, and Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah actually explodes. With the main characters, I probably forgot some other fight scenes, you know, again, just too much mayhem in this movie. But again, Rob is like, oh, I don't think we're able to do this, you know, we might die. I also like the military soldiers, like the two background military soldiers. I always laugh when they have their thumbs up. It's like MLG. So let's make that into an MLG trend. It's like the thumbs up aircraft pilot. You just see him with you just see him with a thumbs up, and in the other hand he has like a Doritos, and on the control table you see a Mountain Dew. He's like MLG 360 no scope hyper Mecha King Ghidorah. This review has been crazy. This is my craziest fan film review. MLG 360 no scope swig swag swool, too cool for you. Okay, back to the review. Seriously, I'm so sorry, guys. It's just, this movie was a masterpiece. It was one of the greatest things. It was my greatest 26 minutes. It's one of the defining factors of 2015 of why this movie was good. I'll probably be getting into more things, but I'm still trying to go over the plot. I've been wasting over just about 20 minutes on the plot. Okay, seriously, guys, let's go. So, Godzilla pretty much is dying. Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah is pretty much down and out of the game. But all of a sudden, this green energy comes flying around. It's unexplained where this green energy comes from. You know, maybe it came from somewhere and I just missed it. But pretty much this green energy goes to Godzilla Jr. And Godzilla Jr. becomes the next king of the monsters. You know, So Godzilla Jr. basically he has red spikes, and he one KO Space Godzilla. I mean, just one shot of red spiral, he beat it. Boom, goes right through Space Godzilla. Space Godzilla drop dead. He's dead. KO. MLG. Swig swag swoo. Too cool for you. Hashtag down and out. KO. So Space Godzilla is down. The Vortog Queen's like, no, we lost. And the Vortog Queen spirals out of Earth. I mean, she rockets hell high tails out of Earth because she knows that if Godzilla could fly up there in outer space, she's pretty much screwed. No, screwed as a dead or screwed as a But anyway, pretty much Godzilla won. Godzilla Jr. won. And unfortunately, the original Godzilla, the father, he actually dies. It was really sad. And that's where you got where Godzilla jumps into the ocean, and that's where the movie ends. So, here are some other things that I like to say. My thoughts on the characters. The characters were really great. I mean, you got Diego Doom's character. At first, I thought Diego Doom was just going to be the soldier that gave a lot of orders. I mean, which he does. Not that I would have been angry with that or would have had anything to say about that. I mean, Diego Doom does a perfect job of being a military general giving out orders. I mean, he has the voice, he has the tone, and he has the looks. When I say by looks, I mean like a CGI model or MMD model, whichever you want to call it, has the looks of giving out orders, of course, because of his face. But anyway, he was really cool. But over at the end of the movie, he gave his hat to Rob's character, Yuki. No, not Yuki Sakai. Yuki from Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. Or maybe it is the same Yuki. I don't even know. No, it's not the same Yuki. No. I don't even know how Yuji... Oh, wait, that's Yuji Sakai. You see, I'm losing my mind here. I have lost my mind officially. When you got confused with Yuki and Yuji, that's how you know you have lost your mind. That's how you know you are so thrilled by this movie. There were some scenes in the movie that I just felt like cheering, yeah! Or I felt like clapping, but, of course, I'm inside a house, apartment. I mean, it would have been easier if I was inside a house, but I'm inside an apartment, so, if I scream, then... Of course, neighbors, hello, they're gonna be angry. But, there were just some scenes that I really felt like clapping, and that's the first time that I've ever watched a fan film, and I felt like clapping, cheering, just screaming, which is probably why I should have been at G-Fest and saw this. I would have been like, yeah! I just would have been clapping, I probably would have been clapping more than when I saw Godzilla 2014, because there were so many epic moments. There's so many money shots, there's so many cool clips, there's so many things that make you say, wow, that just happened a few minutes ago, but now this is gonna happen right now. It's like watching Godzilla 2014 all over again. There were so many scenes in Godzilla 2014 that make me say, wow, that just happened a few minutes ago. But this movie made me do it more because of how much action and intensity there was. So, yeah, pretty much, I thought all the characters were really good. I mean, again, we got Rob's character, no, not Rob, Richard Isso's character. Of course, he was great as always, you gotta love his voice from his X Plus reviews. And I really did like how he was pretty much the expert on Godzilla in this movie. Pretty cool character. Then you got Amy's character. She was cool, too. She didn't really have too many lines, surprisingly, but she was still cool when it came to showing emotion. Like, oh, I bet nothing's crazy gonna happen. Like, her facial expressions for the MMD model were really great when Godzilla would attack on the monitor. Okay, then you got the, trying to think if I missed anyone real quick. Okay, so then you got the Vortog Queen. Of course, the Vortog Queen was great. I mean, she sounded just like the Godzilla Unleashed Vortog Queen and the Save the Earth Vortog. She sounded just like her. It was amazing. I just loved her voice acting. Her voice acting was really great. Okay, next character. I'm trying to think if I might have missed any characters, but I don't think I missed any characters. I mean, I would really hate to miss a character right now. I mean, if I missed a character, I would probably cry. No. Okay, well, I was gonna say this character for last, but the next character that I want to get my thoughts on, the MOG aircraft pilots for Mecha King Ghidorah. Yeah, these two guys were really cool. I think they were voiced by the same voice actor because they're just Mecha King Ghidorah co-pilots. They didn't really have any lines. All they did was just run along with Rob. It's like, hey, what's squad? Neighborhood squad. There's just so many laughs. I mean, I just had such a good time with this movie. Just such a good time. Anyway, I always loved how he gave a thumbs up. He should have given a thumbs up if they died. I'm not even sure if they even died. Did they die? I mean, I know they said we can't do this forever, but I'm not sure if Mecha King Ghidorah ever exploded. Did he? I think he did explode. I kind of forgot. I mean, maybe I have some texts verifying that he did or not. But anyway, they could have survived. I doubt it. I mean, it's a 50-50 chance that they probably survived, I guess. I said I guess. But anyway, yeah, those are my thoughts on the characters. Again, really excellent characters, really excellent voice acting, and superb. I was gonna say preferb. Why would I say that? Superb MMD models for the characters. Next, I'm gonna give my thoughts on the effects. Effects? I don't need to say anything about the effects. Who needs to say anything about the effects? The effects were amazing, stupendous, incredible, unbelievable, jaw-dropping. I mean, the effects I was so shocked by the effects. I had never been so shocked by a fan film. That's how epic the effects were. I mean, there were a lot of explosions in this movie, just a lot of explosions and stuff like that. Okay, next thing that I wanted to say, my thoughts on the monster action. Monster action? I already gave my thoughts on the monster action, like, when I was talking about the plot. The monster action was beautiful. The fight between Godzilla versus Spacegodzilla was cool. I mean, sure, it was a short, but it was just cool to see them just look at each other. That was cool. Godzilla Jr. versus Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah. Funny. That's what I love. Show of funniness. Cheesiness, as Goji Fan 1993 would say if this was his video. Final battle between All Out Attack. Epic. I love the 2000 theme. Like when Godzilla comes out, it's like dear, 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 dear. And I love how Godzilla, like, he punched her through. I forgot which one he did, but he makes Space Godzilla like the crystals, like doo 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 doo. Like he played that kind of music or whatever. I just loved it. And then I love when Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah. I'm saying like a Japanese announcer would if he would say Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah. I love how they play the Super X. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Yeah, it was just so great. And then I loved how, Godzilla Jr. finally became his ultimate form, pretty much ultimate Godzilla, where he one-shotted Space Godzilla. I know that Space Godzilla never uses his crystal shield. It's like he has only used a crystal shield once. And that was in Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla on Infinite Island. I mean, not Infinite Island, Lagos Island. No, that wasn't even Lagos Island. I've lost my mind. Someone please tell me the name. What was the name of that island? Birth Island. Yes, Birth Island. Or it's either Birth or Bass Island. They call it either Birth or Bass Island. But anyway, overall, this movie was phenomenal. I loved this movie so much. I mean, it was just so epic. The character interactions were so good that the characters interacted with each other. They had emotions. They had struggles. They had problems with their lives. They had goals. That's what I loved. It felt like I was watching an actual Godzilla movie. It's not every day where you get to watch a fan film where where the characters actually have personalities to them. I mean, sure they do have personalities, but I mean, like, they go a lot in depth with their childhood history. I mean, that's what's really good about Godzilla: The Return to Space Godzilla. Next, the monster action. The monster action was great. Sure, I didn't cry when Godzilla died, but I'd say I was kind of 30% on my way to crying. And not too many fan films make people cry. I mean, sure, I didn't cry, but I meant, like, I could have cried if I was really in the mood to cry. I mean, yeah. But anyway, it was sad when Godzilla died, He was really bruised up. I mean, he pretty much had a lot of blood on him. Yeah, a lot of gore was in this movie. Okay, so now we're gonna go into my final thoughts, which I just gave my final thoughts. This wasn't even a proper review. When I review Godzilla movies, I usually have myself organized, but this review was just me jumping into the movie, pretty much jumping to a pool, swimming at the speed of, 50 knots, and just going at it. I didn't have time to review anything, except if you see any text in this video. I'm not sure if I'm going to add text, but if you see any text or typing, that's how you know that I did kind of review the clips a bit, just to make sure I was correct for some things. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video of me pretty much, fangazzing out or whatever people would say on the internet about this movie. This movie was an excellent tribute to Godzilla and Space Godzilla. Space Godzilla is really powerful. What a boss when he took out the military. Just an overall amazing masterpiece. Definitely better than 1998. I mean, this movie was way better than 1998. Is it better than Godzilla Battle Royale? Okay, guys, here's the thing with Godzilla Battle Royale. I love that movie. It's an excellent movie. It's amazing. But I felt like the fight kind of dragged on for a long time. The fight dragged on longer than the actual plot. I mean, I know the movie's supposed to do that, but pretty much the plot was like, I don't know, like 20 or 30 minutes, whereas the rest of the hour was going towards the fight. And I have no problem with that, but it's just that the fight kind of dragged on, and then just when you think the fight might end, then they bring in like new characters that pop up randomly or have something to do. I mean, it was great because I had real actors. But the thing is, it just felt like it was just too long. It was kind of like, what movie, kind of did this? I'm trying to think. It's kind of like Godzilla versus Gigan, you know. Some parts, when you watch the fight, it does kind of, it's kind of like Godzilla versus Gigan and Godzilla versus Megalon. Sometimes it might feel like the fights do kind of drag out for long periods of time. That's my kind of biggest problem with Godzilla Battle Royale. This movie, however, does not do it because it maintains the action to where it's great and has you excited, but it doesn't drag it out to the point where you feel like you're kind of a bit bored, but it doesn't minimize it too much to the point where it feels like you're watching 2014. Perfect. Just an excellent movie. 10 out of 10. 5 out of 5. MLG, Doritos, Mountain Dew, 360 no scope. I am out of here. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Please help me reach the 400 subscribers. I would highly appreciate that. I know I was going to do a 300 subscriber shout out, but you know, I've been lazy. So now I'm going to do a 400 subscriber shout out. I mean, I'm already close to 400. What's the whole point of doing 300 when a few weeks later I'm probably going to have to do 400 again? But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I probably said this like 3 times, but goodbye. Really epic movie. Great job. Just so good. This movie was fresh. This movie was the crap. Rodan confirmed everything. Bye.